Alex had never imagined he would be standing on an alien starship. The sleek silver walls, glowing panels, and strange humming machinery made him feel both excited and terrified. He was a human engineer, assigned to assist the alien fleet's operations for the first time, and today, he was working with the most feared officer in the galaxy, General Korath. The general was a towering figure, easily twice the height of a human. His muscular frame was covered in dark plated armor that shimmered with an unearthly light. His four eyes, too large and too small, glowed faintly as he examined the bridge with a sharp, calculating gaze. Every officer aboard froze when he entered the room. The humans, like Alex, were especially tense. Alex's mission was simple, or so he thought. He had to check the general's exosuit, the powerful armor that allowed Korath to survive harsh conditions and fight in ways no ordinary being could. He had studied the manuals for days, memorizing every diagram and note about the alien technology. But studying a manual was very different from working on a live exosuit worn by a live alien general. Human engineer. Korath's voice rumbled like a distant storm. "Are you ready?" Alex swallowed hard. "Yes, General. I have reviewed all the systems and—" Korath's eyes narrowed. "Do not waste time with excuses. I want results." Alex nodded quickly, trying not to show his fear. He stepped forward and began inspecting the exosuit's joint connectors, carefully following the diagrams. The suit was unlike anything he had ever worked on. Its systems integrated with the wearer's nervous system, meaning that a small mistake could hurt the general, or worse, disable him completely. Alex's hands shook slightly as he adjusted the energy conduits. He double-checked his connections, ensuring that each wire matched the instructions. But he was unfamiliar with the alien method of alignment. The manuals explained it in complex alien symbols, and he had translated them into human terms. Unfortunately, some details didn't translate perfectly. "Is that correct?" Alex asked, pointing to a small control panel near the hip joint. Korath leaned over and glared. "You did it wrong. Do you even understand this technology?" Alex's heart skipped a beat. I think I do, General. I followed the manual exactly." Korath's growl echoed through the bridge. "Humans follow, yes. But you do not think. You touch without understanding." That is weakness. Alex felt a wave of panic. He had worked carefully, yet the general was already furious. He tried to recheck the connections, adjusting the small conduits and recalibrating the sensors, but every adjustment seemed to make the general more uncomfortable. Finally, Korath stepped back, his four eyes narrowing in frustration. "Enough, leave it." "You have ruined my suit," Alex froze. "Ruined? I can fix it, General. Just tell me what went wrong." Korath's growl deepened. "Do you know what you have done? You have disabled my core seating system. I cannot sit. I cannot rest. I cannot command properly." Alex's stomach sank. He had never imagined such a consequence. A misaligned joint or a tiny miscalculation, and he had caused a massive problem for one of the galaxy's most powerful leaders. The other officers whispered among themselves, some glancing at Alex with pity, others with suspicion. I will fix it," Alex said, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at him. "I just need access to the calibration matrix and—" Korath cut him off with a sharp gesture. "You will fix it, human. By yourself. No one else may touch my suit. Fail, and you will answer to me." Alex nodded, swallowing hard. He knew he had no choice. This was his chance to prove himself or fail spectacularly. He went to the control console and activated the suit's diagnostics. Lines of glowing symbols scrolled across the screen, alien code that seemed impossible to decipher at first. Alex took a deep breath. He had studied alien language for weeks, but seeing it live was still intimidating. He began cross-referencing the symbols with his notes, checking each parameter and flow system. Slowly, he started to understand the patterns. The exosuit's core seating system was linked to the wearer's balance and neural feedback. If misaligned, it would make sitting impossible and could strain the wearer's back and legs. Alex worked carefully, adjusting small energy conduits and recalibrating the neural connectors. He tested each adjustment using a miniature simulation program on his tablet. Every correction he made seemed to improve the system, but he was cautious. He did not want to make another mistake. Hours passed. Sweat ran down his forehead as he worked. The bridge was quiet except for the hum of the ship and the occasional growl from Korath as he shifted in his armor, trying to remain comfortable. Alex felt exhausted but focused. He knew that if he failed, it would be remembered for the rest of his life. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Alex leaned back and ran a full systems check. Every parameter was within normal limits. He held his breath and called out, "General Korath, the exosuit's core seating system has been recalibrated. You should be able to sit now." Korath stared at him, his 4 eyes studying every movement. Slowly, he lowered himself into the command chair. There was a tense moment as the suit adjusted to his weight. Then finally, he straightened with a grunt of relief. This was acceptable, for now. Alex exhaled deeply, feeling a wave of relief. He had succeeded, but barely. He knew that one more mistake could ruin everything. "You are human," Korath said after a pause, his voice calmer but still tinged with irritation. "You work differently than we do. Your methods are unpredictable, dangerous, but you have corrected your error. That is interesting." Alex blinked. "Interesting?" Korath's 4 eyes glinted. "Yes, perhaps your unpredictability has value. Perhaps humans are not as weak as I thought." Alex's heart leaped. He had expected scolding, maybe even punishment, but not this respect. Korath, the feared alien general, had just admitted that humans might have unique strengths. "Thank you, General," Alex said, his voice trembling slightly. Korath grunted. "Do not thank me yet, human. This is only the beginning. You will work under my command. You will follow my orders and you will learn quickly. Do not fail me again." Alex nodded, trying to hide his excitement. Working closely with Korath would be dangerous, but it was also an opportunity. He had a chance to prove that humans could think, adapt, and solve problems in ways even the most advanced aliens could not. As he returned to his station, Alex noticed the other officers watching him with a mix of surprise and curiosity. Some whispered among themselves, clearly impressed that a human had survived an encounter with Korath, and even fixed his exosuit. Alex allowed himself a small smile. He had made a mistake, yes, but he had also shown that humans could overcome their limits, and if he could do this once, maybe he could do it again. Outside the bridge, the stars stretched endlessly, a reminder of the vast galaxy he was now a part of. Planets, fleets, and civilizations waited, and humans, small and fragile as they seemed, had a role to play. Alex knew the road ahead would be filled with challenges, strange technologies and fearsome aliens, but he was ready. After all, humans were nothing if not resourceful, and this human was about to prove that even the most terrifying alien general could not underestimate him. The day after his first encounter with General Korath, Alex found himself back on the bridge before sunrise. The corridors of the alien flagship were quiet, the hum of the engines the only sound. He carried a data pad filled with diagrams, notes, and calculations about the exosuit's complex systems. Alex knew that fixing the suit once was only the beginning. If he wanted to survive and thrive under Korath's command, he needed to understand the alien way, how they thought, how they moved, and how they fought. He approached the training area, where holographic projections of alien maneuvers and tactical simulations shimmered in midair. The aliens called it the Neural Combat Matrix, and it allowed them to practice every type of movement, strategy, and response in perfect detail. For humans, it was overwhelming. Alex took a deep breath and activated the simulation. The holograms filled the room. Alien warriors practicing formations, moving with speed and precision that Alex could barely follow. He had studied their movements in manuals, but seeing them in real time was a different challenge. Every motion seemed perfectly coordinated, every reaction instinctive. Alex realized humans could not replicate this exactly, but maybe that was his advantage. Humans were unpredictable. Humans thought differently. As he cautiously experimented, Alex tried mimicking the alien postures and hand movements. He stumbled at first, nearly tripping over his own feet. A hologram of a tall alien warrior rotated in front of him, demonstrating the exact sequence. Alex copied as best as he could, his arms and legs moving awkwardly. "Focus, human," a voice rumbled behind him. It was Korath. "Your body is weak. Your mind is slow. You cannot move like us, but perhaps you can move differently." Alex froze. "General, I'm trying to learn." Korath's 4 eyes studied him. "Trying is not enough. You must adapt. You must find ways your kind can succeed where we do not expect it. That is your strength, human. Use it." Alex nodded, swallowing hard. He had never been praised by anyone so intimidating, but Korath's words carried weight. He realized that alien strength was physical and precise, but human strength was creativity and unpredictability. If he could combine his human way of thinking with alien technology, he might be able to contribute in ways even Korath did not anticipate. Over the next few days, Alex threw himself into learning everything about alien engineering, culture, and physiology. He spent hours in the ship's library, scrolling through holographic manuals and watching simulations of exosuit functions. He noticed patterns the aliens missed. For example, their suits relied on exact alignment, but small variations could improve flexibility without compromising strength, something they considered dangerous, but humans could exploit with care. Alex also began to notice small habits of Korath. The general adjusted his armor in subtle ways when thinking, tapped certain panels in a rhythmic pattern, and preferred slightly different angles when sitting. Alex recorded all of it, believing that understanding the general's behavior might help prevent mistakes in the future. One afternoon, while Alex was recalibrating the exosuit in the maintenance bay, a small crisis occurred. One of the auxiliary energy conduits started sparking unexpectedly. Alex moved quickly, his hands shaking as he rerouted power and adjusted the neural feedback system. Sparks flew dangerously close to the panel, but Alex's human ingenuity saved the day. He used a temporary energy stabilizer, something aliens rarely used because they considered it risky. Yet it worked perfectly. Korath appeared moments later, watching silently as Alex completed the fix. "Interesting," he growled. "You do not follow the rules exactly. You improvise. Dangerous, yes. Effective, also yes." Alex wiped sweat from his forehead. "I just wanted to make sure everything works, General." Korath's eyes softened slightly, a gesture rare for him. "Your kind has potential. You see solutions where others see only failure. Remember this, human. In battle, unpredictability is power. Adaptation is survival." Encouraged by this acknowledgement, Alex continued to experiment. He created hybrid procedures combining alien exosuit protocols with human adjustments. Some officers doubted his methods, murmuring that humans could never understand alien systems. But every time Alex tested a new idea, it worked better than expected. Slowly, even Korath began to observe him with a mix of caution and curiosity. Despite the technical work, Alex also had to navigate alien social dynamics. The crew communicated in complex signals, a combination of clicks, gestures, and low rumbles. At first, Alex misunderstood nearly everything, causing minor chaos, wrong commands, misplaced tools, and accidental overrides. Korath, however, seemed to find amusement in these mistakes. "Humans are clumsy," he said once, his voice rumbling like distant thunder. "But clumsiness hides cleverness. Do not forget that." One evening, after a long day of studying and experimentation, Alex returned to his quarters exhausted. He sat on the small human chair and opened his datapad. Holographic symbols glowed softly as he reviewed the day's work. Patterns emerged, small insights that he had missed before. If he could apply these insights tomorrow, he might fully restore Korath's exosuit efficiency, and perhaps gain the general's trust. Just then, a message appeared on his console. A fleet drill was scheduled for the next morning. Korath would be present. Alex's stomach tightened. This would be the ultimate test, not only of his technical skills, but of his ability to operate under pressure alongside the general. The next day, Alex arrived early in the simulation chamber. Korath was already there, standing tall and imposing. His exosuit gleamed in the dim light, flawless and intimidating. Alex felt nervous but also determined. Today he would show that humans could learn, adapt, and excel, even among the most advanced alien warriors. The drill began with a simple test: maneuver through an obstacle course while maintaining combat readiness. Aliens moved with precise, calculated motions. Alex tried to mimic them but quickly realized that exact imitation would fail. Instead, he relied on his human instincts, finding angles, shortcuts, and methods that were unconventional. He dodged energy traps, climbed walls in ways aliens would never consider, and used temporary energy stabilizers to bypass barriers. Korath watched silently, his four eyes analyzing every move. The other officers whispered among themselves, some skeptical, some intrigued. Alex felt a surge of pride. For the first time, he realized that being human gave him an edge. He did not have to follow rigid rules. His creativity and quick thinking allowed him to succeed where pure strength might fail. At the end of the course, Alex paused, breathing heavily, but victorious. Korath approached him slowly, the hum of his exosuit echoing through the chamber. "Human," he rumbled, "you do not move like an alien. You move differently. And that difference is useful." Alex blinked, a small smile forming. "Thank you, General. I am trying my best." Korath's four eyes softened just slightly. "You are learning. Do not forget this, the galaxy is unpredictable. Enemies do not follow manuals. You must think. You must adapt. Your species may be underestimated, but perhaps that is your greatest strength." Alex's heart raced. He had expected criticism, maybe even scolding, but Korath was praising him for his human way of thinking. The general had begun to see that humans, while physically weaker, could achieve what aliens could not. The drill ended, but the lessons continued. Over the following days, Alex experimented with hybrid techniques, combining human creativity with alien precision. He discovered that small modifications in the exosuit could enhance flexibility without reducing protection, that alternative energy pathways could stabilize neural feedback faster, and that human improvisation could save time in critical moments. Korath began to take note. He observed Alex's experiments, sometimes commenting, sometimes silently testing him. Slowly, a mutual respect began to form. Alex realized that he was no longer just a human engineer. He was becoming a valuable part of the alien fleet, a bridge between human ingenuity and alien technology. By the end of the second week, Alex had made significant improvements to Korath's exosuit. Small adjustments allowed the general to sit more comfortably, move more freely, and even respond faster in simulations. Korath grunted in approval, a rare sign of satisfaction. "You may yet prove useful, human. Do not fail me." Alex nodded, knowing that the road ahead was still long and dangerous. But for the first time, he felt confident. He had learned the alien way, adapted it to his human strengths, and survived the scrutiny of one of the galaxy's most feared generals. As he left the simulation chamber, Alex looked up at the stars visible through the ship's observation window. The galaxy was vast and full of challenges, but humans, he realized, could survive anything if they used their wits, courage, and creativity. And Alex was determined to prove it, one day at a time. The day had started like any other aboard the Voreth's Fang, the alien flagship that now felt strangely like home to Alex. He walked the corridors with a datapad in hand, checking systems and recalibrating minor functions of the ship. His confidence had grown since his initial mistake with General Korath's exosuit, and he moved with a quiet purpose. Still, he knew that nothing in the galaxy was predictable, and today would prove that more than ever. The alarm blared suddenly, a shrill sound that echoed through the entire ship. Red lights flashed, bathing the bridge in an urgent crimson glow. Officers rushed to their stations, voices clicking and rumbling in rapid alien commands. Alex's heart pounded as he sprinted to the exosuit maintenance bay, knowing immediately that the alarm involved Korath. When he arrived, he saw the problem. One of the main energy conduits in Korath's exosuit had malfunctioned during the fleet's combat simulation. Sparks flew and the neural feedback system was erratic, causing Korath to stagger unsteadily. The general's four eyes widened in shock and frustration. "Human," Korath's growl was loud enough to make the walls vibrate. "Fix this now!" Alex didn't waste a second. He approached the suit, analyzing the problem while ignoring the sparks and heat. The energy conduit had overloaded, and the neural links were unstable. If the exosuit failed completely, Korath would be immobilized, dangerous even in a simulation and potentially lethal in real combat. "General, stand still," Alex shouted as he knelt beside the suit's control panel. His fingers flew over the interface, rerouting power and stabilizing energy flows. "I need to temporarily bypass the main conduit." Korath grunted, his voice strained. "Do it. I trust your hands more than my officers right now." Alex felt a surge of responsibility. He was used to working on minor issues, small calibrations, and theoretical adjustments. Now he was saving the most feared warrior in the galaxy from a catastrophic failure. His human ingenuity was the only thing between Korath and disaster. He quickly connected a temporary energy stabilizer, a device rarely used by aliens because it was considered risky. But humans, Alex had learned, often solved problems by taking calculated risks. He activated the stabilizer and the sparks diminished slightly, but the neural system was still twitching dangerously. Almost there, Alex muttered to himself. He adjusted the neural conduits, careful not to overload the system. Every second counted. He could feel the general's tension, the raw power coiled beneath the armor, ready to snap at any moment. Korath shifted, almost falling, and Alex grabbed a stabilizing panel to keep the suit steady. "You cannot let the system fail completely," he shouted. "The override must engage now." With a final adjustment, the temporary stabilizer took full control of the energy flow. The sparks stopped, and the neural feedback system returned to normal. Korath straightened, breathing heavily but fully in control once more. Alex stepped back, wiping sweat from his forehead. "It's stable now, General. The suit should function correctly for the rest of the simulation." Korath's 4 eyes studied him carefully. For a long moment there was silence. Then, with a deep rumbling that seemed almost like a laugh, he said, "Impressive. You did not panic. You did not fail. You adapted." Alex felt a wave of relief wash over him. He had saved the general from what could have been a humiliating failure, or worse, injury. "Thank you, General. I just did what had to be done." Korath nodded slowly. "This human thinking of yours is unusual. Predictable and clever. You solved a problem my best officers could not. Remember this: survival in the galaxy is not always about strength. Sometimes it is about creativity. You have shown that humans can excel in ways we do not expect." Alex's chest swelled with pride. He had earned Korath's respect, not through imitation but by using his unique human approach. The lesson was clear. Humans might be weaker in raw physical power, but their minds could outthink even the most advanced aliens. The simulation continued, but the crew's perception of Alex had changed. Officers whispered about the human who had saved the general. Some were skeptical, fearing that humans were reckless. Others were intrigued, realizing that Alex's different way of thinking might be an asset in the unpredictable environment of space combat. Over the next few hours, Alex worked alongside Korath to refine the exosuit further. He observed the general's movements during the simulation, noting subtle habits and adjustments that even the alien officers overlooked. Small changes in the neural conduit alignment improved response time, and minor tweaks to the energy distribution enhanced Korath's maneuverability. "You notice things others do not," Korath said during a brief pause. "Your species observes differently. You see patterns hidden in chaos. That is a strength humans have, often ignored by other races." Alex smiled, grateful for the recognition. "I just try to pay attention, General. I think carefully before acting." Korath's growl was soft, almost thoughtful. "Thinking is dangerous among warriors, but sometimes thinking saves lives. You have learned this lesson quickly." As the simulation ended, Korath addressed the fleet's officers. "Observe this human. He is not like others. His methods are unusual but effective. Learn from him, or underestimate him at your own risk." The officers shifted, some nodding in acknowledgement, others still skeptical, but Alex felt a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. He was no longer just a human engineer. He was part of the fleet, valued for his unique contributions. Later, in a private moment, Korath approached Alex. "You performed well, human. But know this: the galaxy will not always present problems you can solve with calm thinking. Threats come unexpectedly. Adaptability and courage will be tested." Alex nodded. "I understand, General. I will be ready." Korath's eyes glimmered. "I hope so. Today you saved me in a simulation. Tomorrow you may save me in real battle. Never forget that your human mind can be as dangerous and as valuable as any weapon." Over the next few days, Alex continued working closely with Korath. They studied fleet tactics, repaired exosuits, and tested simulations. Alex developed new techniques that combined human flexibility with alien precision. Small innovations improved efficiency and safety, earning cautious praise from the alien crew. One afternoon, while examining a holographic map of an upcoming fleet maneuver, Alex noticed a potential flaw in the simulation. "General, if the enemy fleet approaches from this angle, our formation could be compromised. The simulation doesn't account for rapid shifts in trajectory." Korath studied the map, frowning. "You are correct. Our protocols are rigid. A human approach may solve this." Alex suggested a small unconventional adjustment, an alternate formation that relied on human unpredictability. The fleet officers murmured in concern, but Korath allowed it. The simulation ran with Alex's modification, And the results were undeniable. The new formation was faster, more adaptive, and less vulnerable to enemy attacks. You see, Korath said to the officers, humans can think differently. They may lack our physical prowess, but their minds compensate in ways that are remarkable. Alex felt a quiet satisfaction. He had gone from being the nervous engineer who nearly ruined the general's exosuit to a trusted contributor in fleet strategy. His human creativity had earned him respect, and he knew there were greater challenges ahead. That evening, as Alex returned to his quarters, he reflected on the day. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable, and dangerous. Aliens had power, strength, and advanced technology, but humans had something unique: ingenuity. Alex realized that being human did not make him weak, it made him different. And different could be a weapon stronger than any blade or laser. As he looked out at the stars through the observation window, Alex made a promise to himself. He would continue learning, continue adapting, and continue proving that humans could not be underestimated. General Korath had seen it today, but Alex knew the real tests were still to come. The galaxy was full of unknown threats. Fleet battles, alien rivals, and cosmic dangers awaited, but Alex was ready. Not because he was the strongest, not because he was the fastest, but because he was human. And humans could think in ways no one else could, and today, that human ingenuity had saved the most feared alien general in the galaxy. The alarm sounded across the Vorath's fang once more, but this time it was no simulation. Red lights flashed violently and the ship shook as if it had collided with something massive. Alex ran to the bridge, heart racing. The human engineer knew that the fleet was facing a real threat. A fleet of unknown alien vessels, fast and highly advanced, approaching from an unexpected trajectory. Korath stood at the center of the bridge, his armor gleaming and his four eyes locked on the holographic displays. He barked orders in a series of clicks and low rumbles, and the officers moved swiftly, following protocols they had rehearsed countless times. But even with all their preparation, the fleet's situation looked dangerous. Alex approached Korath, holding his datapad filled with his observations and ideas. "General, I've studied their movement patterns," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "We can't respond with standard tactics, but I have a suggestion that might give us an advantage." Korath's gaze swept over him, sharp and intimidating. "Speak, human." "Time is short," Alex quickly explained his plan. He had noticed that the enemy vessels relied heavily on direct energy blasts and predictable formations. Using human unpredictability and quick improvisation, Alex suggested a series of maneuvers that would disrupt their targeting systems. He proposed creating decoys, using rapid directional shifts and employing temporary energy stabilizers in ways aliens would not normally consider. The bridge went silent for a moment. Korath's four eyes studied Alex carefully. "This is unconventional," he rumbled. "But perhaps it will work." He gave a single nod. "Implement it. Human, you lead this maneuver." Alex felt a mixture of fear and exhilaration. He was about to direct a fleet in real combat, relying not on raw power but on human creativity and ingenuity. He quickly issued commands through the ship's interface, directing formations, coordinating decoys, and rerouting energy flows. The alien officers followed his instructions, some skeptical but all obedient to Korath's authority. As the enemy fleet closed in, Alex's plan began to take shape. The decoys launched, energy fields flickering as if the Vorath's fang had multiplied into dozens of ships. The enemy fired their weapons, but the blasts hit nothing. Deflected by the clever maneuvers Alex had designed, Korath observed closely, making small adjustments as needed. But the majority of the strategy came from Alex's human thinking. "Your mind, it is remarkable, human," Korath said almost to himself. "Predictable and unpredictable at the same time. Dangerous." The fleet began to gain the upper hand. The enemy vessels, confused and unable to anticipate the unexpected maneuvers, started to falter. Alex directed rapid shifts, forcing them to misalign and collide with one another. The bridge erupted with the hum of energy beams and the rumble of alien engines, but through it all, Alex remained focused. "This is it," he muttered under his breath. "We can turn this around if we keep moving." Korath's growl resonated across the bridge. "Do not underestimate them, human. Stay sharp." Alex nodded, adjusting the energy stabilizers and recalibrating the fleet's auxiliary systems. The alien officers, now fully trusting his human logic, executed the maneuvers flawlessly. It was chaotic, Dangerous and unlike any conventional battle, but it worked. The enemy fleet was caught in a series of traps and maneuvers they could not predict. Slowly, one by one, their ships were disabled or forced to retreat. The final vessel attempted a desperate attack on the flagship, but Alex anticipated its trajectory. "Divert power to the forward shields. Fire countermeasures," he shouted. Korath followed his instructions and the attack was deflected, leaving the enemy ship drifting harmlessly away. The bridge erupted in a mixture of relief and astonishment. Officers whispered in disbelief. They had witnessed something unprecedented. A human had directed a fleet in real combat and succeeded using ingenuity rather than brute strength. Korath finally turned to Alex, his massive frame towering over him. "Human, and you did not fail. You adapted. You thought differently, and your mind has turned defeat into victory." Alex felt a rush of pride, but also humility. He had worked with Korath, observed the aliens, and trusted his human instincts. That combination had made the difference. "Thank you, General. I couldn't have done it without your support." Korath's growl softened slightly, a rare gesture of approval. "Support, perhaps, but it was your human ingenuity that won today. Remember this. Your species may be underestimated, but that is where your true power lies." The bridge slowly returned to normal. Officers went back to their stations, reporting the status of the fleet. Alex remained standing beside Korath, catching his breath, still absorbing what had just happened. Later, in a quieter moment, Korath approached Alex privately. "Human, you have proven your worth. Others doubted you. I doubted you at first. But you have shown that humans are not merely weak. You think, you adapt, and you survive. That is something even the most advanced warriors cannot always do." Alex nodded, feeling both relieved and honored. "I will continue to learn, General. I want to be ready for anything." Korath's 4 eyes glimmered. "Then you shall. We will train, we will test, and you will grow stronger. Humans may lack our raw power, but your mind is a weapon in itself. Never forget that." In the days that followed, Alex's role in the fleet expanded. He continued to refine exosuit functions, develop new strategies, and even train other humans and aliens in hybrid techniques. His human perspective brought fresh ideas that improved efficiency, safety, and combat readiness. Even Korath's closest officers began to rely on Alex's input, respecting his insight despite initial skepticism. Alex had come a long way from the nervous engineer who had nearly ruined Korath's exosuit. He had learned the alien way, adapted it to his human strengths, and used his creativity to save the fleet. He had proven that humans, though physically smaller and weaker than aliens, could achieve greatness through ingenuity, quick thinking, and determination. One evening, after a long day of training and adjustments, Alex looked out at the stars through the observation window. The galaxy stretched endlessly, full of unknown dangers, new civilizations, and opportunities. He knew that challenges lay ahead, but he also knew that humans had a place in this vast universe, not as weak observers, but as capable, inventive, and formidable participants. Korath entered the observation deck, his presence commanding yet surprisingly calm. He stood beside Alex, looking out at the stars in silence. After a long moment, he spoke. "Human, you have done well. Perhaps it is time to acknowledge something rare. Respect." Alex turned to him, surprised. "Respect, General?" Korath's 4 eyes met his. "Yes, you are human. You are different. But that difference has proven itself. You have earned my trust. You have earned my respect. Few beings can achieve this." Alex felt a warmth of pride and accomplishment. He had started as a small, uncertain human among giants feared and misunderstood. Now he stood as an equal in strategy, intellect, and courage. The general's voice softened further, almost thoughtful. "Humans are underestimated too often. Perhaps that is a mistake. Perhaps your kind is meant to change the galaxy, not with brute force, but with ingenuity, creativity, and courage." Alex smiled, realizing the truth in Korath's words. Humans had survived countless challenges on Earth, and now had the opportunity to prove themselves among the stars. As the Vorath's fang sailed through the cosmos, Alex stood ready. The galaxy would present threats, crises, and mysteries beyond imagination. But he knew that together with the aliens, and through the power of human ingenuity, they could face anything. And today, a human had triumphed, not through strength, not through numbers, but through mind, heart, and unyielding creativity. The stars stretched endlessly, bright and full of possibilities. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of adventure. He was a human engineer, but more than that. He was a proof that humans could shine even among the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. For the first time, he truly believed that humans were not to be underestimated, and the galaxy had just witnessed why.